I started just rambling here and there at the age of 16.
My first client, I started making more money than my entire subleasing portfolio. I almost lost my business. I fired people on a mass level.
Resonated a lot with me. This could have been a podcast episode.
Thinking to put the recording on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm honestly very curious about your story as well, but I think we can get into that, like how you even reached there, how you started, what do you study, and you're a young guy, I know.
How old do you think I am?
I know you posted on your Instagram. 22, 23?
22.
23 now.
No, 22. I'm going to turn 23 in March.
So you started business right after uni or during uni?
Before uni, I'm doing my master's right now. I just did my undergrad.
Damn.
I finished my
even
undergrad.
So you started doing business even before uni?
So I started properly. I started just rambling here and there at the age of 16. I started making good money at the age of 18. Then by 19, it dropped because, well, I had too much money and I didn't know what else to spend it on as a kid, So I stopped making money and I was really enjoying my money. Then it started to finish and I was like, now I need to do something again. Then at the end of 19, I started everything again.
Damn. Wait, so at 16, were you in Airbnb space or you were doing a totally different business?
So in 16, when I was 16, that's when COVID came, 2020 March.
Mhm.
All right. So in 2020 March, I started a small company. What did I do? I was living in Peshawar at that time. That's a different city. And I started running a service which was called COVID disinfections. So no one really understood the meta ads at that time in Pakistan. And there was this company that used to provide COVID disinfections. All right. So I called them up. I was like, if I get you clients, will you give me 20% on it? And they're like, sure, why not? And I was like, perfect. I made a page and I started running ads on it. And people all across the country used to be calling me. And so in COVID, when everyone used to be sleeping all day and doing nothing, I, as 17-year-old, at that time, I used to wake up at 8 a.m. and sleep at like 3 a.m. All right. So I used to work at 4-5 hours of sleep. And every day I would, in a day, maybe get like 250, 300 calls. All people asking, we want the service, we want the service, we want the service. And obviously, I was a kid, I wasn't able to manage it very well. But at that time, I think I made, in the first month, I made around $7,000. I was going crazy at that time. I was like, bro, this is nice. This is very nice. And yeah.
Did you come from you came from a family of wealth or you came from a family you made?
So I came from a family of wealth. I came from a very wealthy family back in my hometown.
So you have that entrepreneurial spirit inside you, I'm sure, based on your family members and stuff.
So the reason I wanted to do it was I didn't want to turn 50, look myself in the mirror, or maybe, one of my kids in an argument says that, Baba, you haven't done anything yourself. You handled everything on a platter. So I didn't want that thing. I was like, I want to do something so that tomorrow when I'm 50, I can look at myself and I can tell myself that even if you were not born in a wealthy family, you would have done it on your own. When I started this COVID thingy, all I started with was maybe around $40 of ad spend. That's it. And that was my pocket money at that time. It was 8,000 rupees Pakistani, which at that time was maybe around $50-$60 per month. Right? So as soon as I got my pocket money, I spent it on ads. I started spending on ads $5 a day, and it started bringing me like, $100, $200 a day. And I was like, very nice.
Wow. So you did that. First month, you generated like 7K. You continued doing that?
I continued doing that. I made like around 40K from that. Then school started, and my father was like, starts going back to school, focus on that, and close everything. Then I stopped it. I closed it down. I got into e-commerce. I started selling a couple of products. There was a push start button cover, and I started selling that. And so by that time, I had again skid through money because my father, being a businessman, he made me invest that money towards property, whichever I'd earned. So I was out of cash. I had to make money again. So I had like 30,000 Pakistani rupees with me. My father got me a car. It was an MGHS. I'm not sure if you know the brand or not, but it's an MGHS. It was a crossover
Is it
SUV.
it's the car
MG.
with the MG?
Yeah, the MG.
Okay.
So that was brand new in Pakistan. The company just came, and my father got me that car. So at that time, it was a pretty expensive car for Pakistan, and like no other boys had it and everything. So I, being a fanatic of cars, I was like, I have to do something in addition to it. But I couldn't find anything for decor or anything in Pakistan. So I opened up Alibaba. I saw this push start button cover, and I was like, let's try to sell this and order a couple. So I ordered in 30,000. I maxed out. I think I was able to get 42 pieces in 30,000. I placed an order and then I forgot because it was 2 months delivery. So I completely forgot about it. One random day when I came back from school, my mother tells me that you've got a parcel from China. I'm like, what? Parcel from China? And she's like, yeah.
Mhm.
I went to the kitchen, opened it up, and I saw all the push start covers. Oh, I was like, oh yes,
Damn.
I ordered this as well 2 months back. So then I contacted this Instagram page back home. It was called Cars of Pakistan. And I was like, bro, can you just post a story for me? He said, yes, I'll take 1,000 rupees. I was like, all right, take this. He posted a story without 42 pieces gone in 2 hours.
Shit.
Everyone loved it. And at that time, on that night, I started diving into it. So I was like, I need to find the cheapest supplier, cheapest. I was able to find the exact supplier who made it, and then a way to get those, shipped over air. And I was able to find a contact at the customs who would just not charge me all the tax. He would do it on a per kg basis. So I just fixed a
Okay.
rate with him. I was like, I'll pay you per kg and you need to get this shit out for me. I don't know what anything. He's like, perfect. And so for that, one piece used to cost me landed to my home with taxes, shipping, everything around 180 rupees, 180, which is like at
That's
that
like,
time, it was $1. All right.
damn. Okay.
Do you know how much I started selling for? So my second order was of 100 pieces. And my selling price was $20. In one day,
Oof,
all
much.
100 sold.
What?
In one day.
Damn.
All right.
Damn.
So then I placed an order again. It took 2 weeks to come. I placed an order of 200 this time. 2 days gone. Kept on doing this, made very good money over here. This is when I got very complacent. So I made around, I think, 40 grand. And at that point, I was 18, and my father did not know I was doing this. So all the
Damn.
money was cash stored in my room, in my drawers, and in my cupboards, and everywhere. One day when I was in school, I come back to my car, and my mother is there to pick me up. And my parents never used to come to pick me up at school. And I'm like,
Thought you're drug dealing or something.
I was, yeah. So she's like, why do you have all this cash? And like, what are you doing? And I don't have enough. I was like, I'm just doing something. And I thought, she was gonna get mad when I tell her I'm making money. So I was trying to cover that up, and her mind went towards drug dealing. I was like, "No, I'm not dealing. I'll show you when I get home." Then I told her. Then she told my father, and then my father was not very pissed. He was actually very surprised. He's like, you're doing a very good job, and this is nice. But 2 weeks later, again, he's like, do not touch these things, and no need to make any more money. I was like, all right. He's like, if you want money, you can ask me. I want you to enjoy this time. And I was like, you don't know this is my enjoyment. I don't want to be smoking around weed and cruising in car with girls. I don't want that. I want to make money. But he wouldn't allow me at all. Then I started doing Airbnb with the money that I made in the push start covers. The problem happened with push start covers was I tried to sell two more products on ecom, but they just didn't pick up that much. So I was like, this is very risky. Every time you have to find a new product, new everything. So I want something more consistent. Then my partner, the one that is my partner at Queership as well, the one that's currently living in London with me as well, you might have seen him on my stories. He wanted to move to Lahore, my city. So he told me to
Mhm.
find him an apartment. I went to this apartment building.
No.
What?
How do you two know each other? You guys were friends like from before, or
So
you were
his
just
father and my father are very good friends. So we knew each other from
ah,
childhood. All right.
okay,
Ever since
okay.
we were born, we knew each other. So he wanted to move to Lahore. This is now around 2021 end. All right.
Well, sorry,
So
just to back a bit. The property which you invested in, the first 40K, what happened with that property?
what still happened?
Okay, okay. So it was generating like passive income, renting it
No,
normally.
no passive income or nothing. It's just lying over there. Because it's a
Okay,
piece of
okay,
land. It's a piece of land.
okay. It's a piece of land. Did it
Yes.
like appreciate in value or like
I'm sure it
just
would
chill?
have. I'm sure it would have, but I don't think anything significant.
Got you, got you.
Right. So when I was finding him an apartment to rent in Lahore, I come across this dealer and he's like, do you want it for yourself or for Airbnb? And I'm like, what do you mean for Airbnb? And he's like, there's one guy in this building who's doing Airbnb. And I was like, how does that work? And he explained it to me. He's like, he got it 2 weeks back and he started doing Airbnb on it. I went home, I searched Airbnbs in Lahore. There were around 20 in my city at that time. I was like, this is nice. And I was like, let's get into it. And my father was supposed to land in 6 days back from Dubai. He was coming back from Dubai. In 6 days, I rented the apartment, I finished it, I put it live. When I made it live, like we did the photography in the apartment and I published the listing. Right after publishing the listing, I went to the airport to pick my father up. So I wanted to get it done before he comes back so that, he doesn't get to
You
know.
said okay.
Yes. So then I told him about my Airbnb business when I got to my fourth apartment. That's when I was like, we were going on a drive and he was like, this building is really nice. And I'm like, I have 4 apartments in this building. And he's using his phone and he's like, what do you mean? And I was like, I have 4 apartments. And then he's like, what do you mean you have 4 apartments? I'm like, I rented them and put them on Airbnb. How long ago? I was like, I started 5-6 months ago. He said, where did the money come from? I was like, money came for one apartment and then I just kept rolling over and that's how I got to 4 units. Okay, very nice. And that's when he stopped, saying that don't work anymore. Like he, till this day, he does. Even today in the afternoon, he was telling me that, you should be focusing on your studies and don't focus on your work so much and everything. But yeah, at that point, he got to know that this guy will just keep on figuring out ways on how to keep doing stuff. So there's no point of stopping him anymore. He's just going to listen to himself. And yeah, that's how I started my Airbnb business. I reached to around 16 units myself. I made my Instagram page around it, everything. That gave me access to people internationally. For example, I wouldn't know you if I didn't have my Instagram. All right. So, like you, there were a lot of service providers, a lot of holiday home company owners. So then I was like, why not sell to them services? And I make pretty much the same amount as subleasing an apartment back home. And this way, I don't have to work. I have to put up a lot less energy and I can scale a lot more faster. So then I pivoted towards Airbnb co-hosting. And that's where I started my agency.
So how did you get your like first deal, or what made you even think of wanting to do that service?
So do you know Saeed? Saeed the thief?
Yeah.
He,
So the US guy, he has like
yeah,
300 units.
yeah, 350. He pushed me. He made me
Oh,
start the company.
wow.
So,
Because I remember, I think I was actually following you back then, or actually maybe because of Sayed. I used to follow Sayed and I saw him post you. It was like, this guy from Pakistan, he's so ambitious. He traveled all the way from Pakistan maybe to see me. I think
that is the day
when I
when
told
he told me to start this business.
damn. Okay,
That
so
is,
before that, you were just subleasing.
yes.
Damn. How was the subleasing doing before you got into this?
It was doing pretty decent. Like I was making maybe like net profit $350 per unit, and that was the base minimum in Pakistan. And according to Pakistan, I was making good money. Like in Pakistan, if you're making like $10,000 a month, you can live like a king. like
Yeah,
a king, bro.
same same thing in Ghana. Yeah, I get you.
Exactly. So I was making pretty decent money.
Wow. So you started with Sayed. Were you doing it like for his units?
No. He said, I've got a team that I've worked with since the past 5 years. There's no way I'm going to be, losing them out. But
Mhm.
there's going to be a lot more people like me who would want your services. So he
Ah,
didn't bring me any clients or anything. I started posting about it, started reaching out to people. My first client, till this day, does not know he's my first client.
damn.
He thinks he's my 10th or 15th client. Although it's been
Yeah.
more than almost 1.5 year now, he still doesn't know that he's my first client.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah, we gave him a free trial of around 2 weeks. And I was like, we'll do it free of cost for you. If you like our service, good enough. If not, you can, always decide to not go ahead. And I think that is the reason I've been able to get a lot of clients because I've been giving free trials like anything.
Mhm.
I know the quality of my work, my team's work, and whoever comes up, their first hesitation is if they pay, whether they will give enough support in return or not. And I'm like,
True.
you don't need to assume that. Get on a free trial. If you want it, good enough. If not, well, just tell me of why you did not want it, and I'll improve my service quality. So it doesn't matter. And the reason I started giving out free trials in the first place was I was like, I've hired the team, I've trained them, I have to pay their salaries even if they're sitting doing nothing, or if they're replying to someone. So I was like, even if I have to give a 30-day free trial, I anyways have to pay their salaries. So it doesn't cost me anything. And on the
Nothing
plus
to
side,
lose.
it might get me the client. So that's why I started doing free trials.
Damn. This client was in Dubai or the US?
US.
US.
Yes.
Solid. Solid.
See, now
Solid.
for
So
that,
you
I was making around, so I was making $350 per unit from my Lahore Airbnb subleased. This
Mhm.
client, I locked at $250 per unit. And in the
Wow.
first deal, I got 25 apartments. So
Damn.
from my first client, I started making more money than my entire subleasing portfolio.
That's when it opened. That's when your mind switched, just flipped.
Exactly. That's when I was like, bro, this is crazy. Like, this way, in order to get these 20 units, I just had to talk to this guy for 1 week. And if I keep on doing this on repeat, I can scale a lot more. And in Lahore, I was like, there's very little buildings available now to even get into for subleasing because there were not a lot of like tall skyscrapers and everything. Every unit that would come on, like property agents over there, I would already give them commission that whatever property you find, just please give it to me. I'll give you a commission in advance so that you don't show it to anyone else. That's how hard finding a
That-
property at that time was. Now there's a lot
wow.
of options, but at that time it was this hard. That's like, this way the whole world is available to me. Why not go through that?
Damn, that's solid. So how did you, now you're managing these units like somewhere like the US, new regulations, you have to call like maintenance there and all. How do you figure all that out?
Bro, so what I'm a believer of is if I want to start something, I want to dive into it and learn it on the way. I don't want
Mhm.
to keep on sitting and figuring it out because if I was sitting and figuring it out till this day, I would not have figured it out. I would not have known how to get it done, how to make sure that I do that. What is the right procedure? What is the right way? I would have to call so many people, ask so many people. Everyone would give me different sides of the story and everything. So I was like,
Mhm.
just start. I told the client, we know it all. Don't worry. When we started,
Yeah,
we kept on figuring everything out. And
nice.
honestly, if you have enough of a purpose or, enough of a, let's call it perseverance that you have to get it done, you get it done no matter what. So you don't have to sit around, keep on thinking about it. You just need to go for it, go for the push. And well, yeah, you're very
Nice.
comfortable doing it.
What was the biggest challenge you faced as you scaled up?
I almost lost my business in December and January first week.
Then
because
what
at
happened?
one time I had like 28 clients, and my employees were not working well.
Oh,
And almost every client had a problem with us.
mhm,
So they were on every client, and there were a lot of problems coming up. Every morning that I would wake up, I wouldn't want to even see my phone. Hassan used to come into my room. He's like, "Don't check your phone."
mhm,
And I would take a shower, go to the office, then open my phone because that's how bad it got. Because I wouldn't even want to check the groups because I take client feedback very seriously. And if there's anything negative that the client is saying to me, I don't even feel comfortable taking their payment because I'm like, if they're not happy and if we're not living to this level of quality that we promised them, how will I even take this payment from them? All right. So when a client is critical, I take that to my heart like anything. I think that's one of the mistakes that I make. I see all of these other service providers, they don't give a shit. I give too much of a shit, which is why I'm still not being able to scale as much as I would have liked
mhm.
to, because as I'm scaling, I don't want any client to feel like they're falling back. And if I have to scale very rigorously, then some fallback does happen. But since that client, his whole business relies on us, I cannot take a chance for them to fall back at any point. Because being honest, we are at the backbone of their business. All right. W- Anything goes wrong, they lose hundreds of thousands of booking right away.
True.
And that's a lot of responsibility to have on your shoulders. So you always have to be on your toes. And that's what the team was not understanding. And they were so what the problem that I did was I hired too many people. And
Mhm.
then it was the problem came out to be they were not being as observant and as, let's say, meticulously watching the details because there were too many people and no one was taking responsibility. Everyone thought this other guy will do it, this other guy will do it, this other girl will do it, this other guy will do it. I cut my team size to one thirds and I more than doubled the salary of the people that I kept. And I pushed
Well,
them super hard. So
so
I
you
was,
kept your top performers. You
yes,
let go of everyone who was like blaming and not being a problem solver.
yes. So I gave all of them like at least 4 written notices that, you need to get your shit sorted. You need to get out to the mark. Even after that, if they did not, I was like, now you need to get off. Now you need to cut the team. And I fired all of them. And although after firing them, I had around 2 weeks where I had very little employees. So me, Hassan, and my leadership team used to be sitting on the computers ourselves for 14 hours, managing like 400, 500 apartments, responding to guests ourselves and everything. So yes, that did happen in January as well, where we were on the computers ourselves for 12, 14 hours straight. And that that moment, that phase really allowed me to understand my business from all of the specifics and the deep dive. After that
Nice.
1 week, no one was able to tell me in my company that this cannot be done and this is causing a problem and everything. Because I was like, if I can manage 400 properties alone by myself while I'm using Snapchat or watching reels as well, and no problem is happening, how can you guys tell me that it is not possible?
True.
It's all a problem of attention. You do not being
Mhm.
attentive enough. And when I started figuring out the mistakes that they were doing because I was sitting with them at the grassroots level, that's how I started making their lives easier as well. Because as a business owner, again, we need to realize that our IQ is not at the same level as theirs. And we make a
Mhm.
mistake of expecting that every of our employee also is at the same level of IQ that we are. But it's not that. And if we want to be good business owners, we need to make their task a lot easier for them. All right. So we need to sit with them, figure out what mistakes they're doing, how to make their lives easier. Because if we make their life easier, the job starts becoming a lot more fun for them. And they stop taking it as big of a challenge as normally it poses to them to be us. And then when they see that I am involved with them so much as well, and I care about them more than they do, because I'm helping them figure out their problems while they cannot figure out a solution to that themselves, then they have a more deep relationship with the company, which is a lot more than just salary. And it's tied
Mhm.
with respect and the love that they're getting at the company and the feeling of family that they're getting. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, makes sense. At this point in the company, had you implemented the GWC or not?
Yes. So this is the point where I saw that reel. And
Ah,
that's after which I fired people on a mass level.
damn, damn,
Right.
damn,
So I locked
damn.
everyone in the conference room. I was like, I didn't exercise with them. I was like, what do you think are the core three functionalities that Virtue Pro does? What do you think are the three main things that we sustain on? How important do you think our job is? Where do you see the company in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Do you see yourself in the company? If yes, where in the company? If not in the company, why not? Right? And you have to be a bit selfish as well. If they don't
Mhm.
see themselves as long-term players, stop treating them as long-term players. But
So you ended up getting rid of some staff that you liked, but perhaps the long-term vision was to go and do something else.
yes, so I had to, you know, even if I didn't cut them at that time, I knew that I do not have to invest this much energy in this person because
Mhm.
apart from him, if I put him this much energy in this guy or this girl, they're gonna stick out longer. So they may take more time to come up to the mark today, but tomorrow I'll be in more peace. Because if I keep on putting my time and investment on the wrong person who's gonna leave anyways, I'll have to come and do all of that again with this guy because this guy will stay. So why not do that from the day one?
True, true,
Makes sense.
true. Oh no, this now it even makes more sense. Makes much more sense now.
So
Wow.
everything that I'm telling you, I'm giving you from perspective where I almost did lose my company. I almost lost all my clients because every client was very pissed. Every client.
Mhm.
My revenue took a 40% hit in 1 month because they left.
So when the clients were pissed, what exactly were they pissed? Was it like wrong check-in instructions, not answering on time? What were the main things?
Main things used to be they have to check in Palm Jumeirah, they've sent location of JVC,
Damn.
right?
Okay, those are pretty crazy mistakes.
Exactly. They miss the apartment. Like, they have to see the location of the upper apartment they've seen of the lower and just sent it. Then one apartment has to be cleaned. They missed sending that in the schedule when the guest checks in, apartment is dirty. Things like
Damn.
that. So
Oof. Oof.
things that were actually unavoidable.
So yeah, even your story right now, honestly, it resonated a lot. It resonated a lot with me because I feel that is actually where I'm failing right now as, let's say, the business owner of the company, is that the employees I have, most of them are not cut for the job, and I don't know who are truly the ones that want the job, want to stay here for the next 5 years, are competent enough. So even now, even though the managers have,
No one.
Mhm,
You've got to give
mhm,
them enough reason for why they should stay. You need
yep,
to show them that they will grow with the company. You need to show them that this company will grow as well. You need to show them that they will not be sitting around in this seat forever.
mhm,
If you don't show them these things, they will not figure it out themselves.
mhm. So how? So that means I have to dream bigger as a company. The vision is maybe too limited. I have to think bigger.
Definitely.
This could have been a podcast episode.
Thinking to put the recording on YouTube.
Honestly, yeah, I don't think many people know your life story. Honestly, it was super inspiring
Do you
from
think?
your super, to be honest. Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
it is. It is.
Then let's see and let's put it up on a podcast.
Inshallah.
Okay.
Always pleasure talking to you, bro. Thank you so
Take care,
much.
bro. Take care.